What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Mazda CX-30 Select Sport. Huge thank you to Matt May over at Safford Mazda of Chantilly, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular CX-30 or any Mazda product, then I'll be sure to have Matt's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, well, just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Mazda CX-30 Select Sport, and this particular one has been painted in the $595 machine gray metallic. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2024, the Select trim becomes the Select Sport, and it includes nicer wheels, black mirror caps, faux leather upholstery on the interior, and a few other things that I'll get into as we progress throughout this video. But this being the Select Sport, as standard, you get LED headlights with high beam control, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals. This is what the front end of the Select Sport looks like, and you get a satin black front grille with your Mazda logo located at the center. Just beneath your grille and your headlights is where you will find your chrome signature wing. This is what I'm referring to as the signature wing. And then coming down just a little bit, you get the satin black lower fascia and 8 inches of ground clearance. Working my way down around the side, as mentioned, you get that satin black lower fascia. That satin black lower fascia leads into your satin black wheel arch moldings. You also get G Vectoring Control Plus, which is a torque vectoring system, basically making you handle better around turns. And then the Select Sport new for 2024 now gets these 18-inch gloss black wheels that are wrapped in 215/55 Bridgestone Turanza EL440 all-season tires. And I'm going to give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. And I'm also going to take a second to apologize if there is any wind noise in today's video. It seems like the wind has picked up a little bit in the past 30 minutes or so. Also, with the Select Sport, as standard, you get rain sensing wipers. New to the Select Sport, which is a new trim level, quote unquote, for 2024, you now get gloss black mirror caps with integrated turn signals. And as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you will find your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. Here comes a little wind, but I am going to give you a side profile shot of the CX-30 here real quick. And I'm also going to tell you, you get these silver roof rails. Coming down a little bit, you get a mix of satin black and satin chrome window trim. Satin chrome on the bottom, satin black on the top. And what's nice about the Select Sport is that you also get body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind though, the keyless access function is only on your front 2 door handles. The rear 2 door handles do not get the keyless access function. As mentioned, when we were at the front, you get that satin black lower fascia, satin black wheel arch moldings, which lead into your satin black door cladding, which can be found at the bottom of all of your passenger doors. Also found on the driver's side is where you will find your fuel door. 87 octane will do you just fine with this thing. And then one thing that's interesting is that you get the gloss black mirror caps. You also get the gloss black roof spoiler up top here with your integrated third brake light. You also get a rear window defroster, a rear wiper, and LED combination taillights are standard. I'm going to give you a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. And I'm also going to give you a booty shot of this thing, and also let you know that you get chrome badging here on your lift gate, as well as a backup camera. And then just to the left of the backup camera, you feel a little pad. If the vehicle is unlocked or you have your key fob in your pocket, you can press on that pad, pull up, and you get a manual lift gate, which reveals a decent amount of storage space back here. Keep in mind, this is a smaller SUV. I'm gonna put the price of all of the accessories on screen right now. Basically, here are your all-weather floor mats. Your cargo liner is underneath that. It's basically like a floor mat for your trunk area. You also get an LED light here on the driver's side of the trunk. And if you lift up on this string right here, that is where you will find your spare tire and your jack. God forbid, hopefully you never need that. And then you can also fold these second row seats. So if you press this button right here and push forward, you can push those seats forward. So you get some fold flat storage space. So you can see second row seats up, you get about, 3 feet of storage space. And then with those second row seats down, you get about an additional 3 feet of storage space with those seats down. But that's kind of about it for what we got going on in the trunk area. You can press the lock button right here on the trunk. That is not a button to close the lift gate because this is a manual lift gate. So closing the lift gate back up, we're going to finish things off here at the back end. So basically a couple other things. You get a satin black rear bumper. You get 2 reflectors as well as a dual exhaust system. And that kind of about does it for the exterior of the Select Sport. So honestly, I did a video a couple months ago with the just base model CX-30. And honestly, I have to say, this doesn't cost that much more, but you get quite a few more features that honestly just make your life so much easier. You get the keyless access, you get dual zone clamping control, a couple other things. I think alone, keyless access makes a huge difference on the convenience of getting in and out of the vehicle. So if you're in between the base model and the Select Sport, go out, test drive both of them, mess with both of them, because I think you'll see the real value that you get with the Select Sport as compared to the base model. That's just my personal opinion. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that makes 191 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 7.5 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 26 miles per gallon in the city, 33 miles per gallon on the highway for 29 miles per gallon combined with standard all-wheel drive. I did want to mention that, this might not be the fastest thing on the road, but a 7.5 second 0 to 60 time honestly isn't too bad. I've done some other videos with like Subaru Crosstreks and stuff like that, which is kind of like a direct competitor to this. And comparing the Crosstrek to the Mazda, honestly, I kind of like the Mazda's look a little bit better, although the Crosstrek does look pretty sweet. The big seller, or the big selling point to me on the Mazda is the fact that it has an automatic transmission and not a CVT. I'm not usually a big fan of a CVT, and I do like the automatic in this. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything from the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those things really help my channel grow in the YouTube algorithm, and I'd appreciate it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier in the video, you get keyless access as standard. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and it will unlock. You can also lock it if you run your finger across this rectangular looking thing right here, and now it is locked. This is what the key fob looks like. It's satin black. You get some chrome accenting on it. You have your Mazda logo here, and then going over the functions on the key fob, starting from the top, you have your lock function, your unlock function, and your panic function, and that about does it for the key fob. So pressing that unlock button, let's see what the interior of the Select Sport has to offer. So the black leatherette upholstery is the only interior color option you can get. If you're looking for another color, you might want to look at a different trim level. And then also as standard, you get a manual driver's seat and a manually adjustable front passenger seat. But we're gonna start with the driver's side door panel. So up top here, you get some vinyl wrapping, you get some silver trim, you're unlocking your lock functions, you get a nicely padded and leatherette wrapped armrest with some stitching on it. All of this area is leatherette wrapped. And then going over the functions on the door panel, you have your side view mirror controls, automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. Pressing on that button is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get a speaker, you get a little bit of miscellaneous storage space, a spot you could set a water bottle, and that about does it for the door panel. Here are what the front seats look like again, and stepping on into these seats, let's hear what it sounds like when you close the door. Now let's fire it up. That is what it sounds like when you fire this thing up from the driver's perspective. So now what I'm gonna do is walk you throughout the entire interior, starting with the functions over here. I guess we'll start with the HVAC vent. So you get an HVAC vent. And basically with the blind spot monitoring system, it might go like beep, beep if you're trying to switch lanes. If you don't like the beep beeps, that is basically to turn the beep beeps off for your driver assistance features. That is what that button does. And then this is like your off-road mode button there. You get a little bit of storage space down in here. You could set your key fob, and then you also get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So if you flip this down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So you can push the steering wheel away from you. You can bring the steering wheel toward you, and it also moves up and down, or down and up is kind of how I just did it. But now I'm gonna lock the steering wheel back into position, and now let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like here on the CX-30. And not only is this your turn signal control stock, this is also your high beam control stock and your headlight control stock. So right now that is headlights automatic. That would be headlights off. Coming up one is daytime running lights on. All the way up is headlights in the always on position. And then pressing on this button here is going to turn your automatic high beams on or off. Personally for me, I like to leave it in automatic. And then zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel, and just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to it. That is what the horn sounds like on the CX-30. Now going over the controls on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you have your volume controls. If you push on that, that is going to mute the audio system. If you push up, that is going to go forwards on a track. If you push down, that is going to go backwards on a track. And if you click source, that is going to switch you between your different audio sources, AM, FM, Bluetooth audio, etc. And then down here, that is to speak to the vehicle. So basically you could say, hey, turn my AC to 60 degrees or something like that. But you can also pick up on a phone call with that button. You hang up on a phone call with this button, and you see that info button right there. That is to control your 7-inch LCD display located at the center of your gauge cluster, which we'll get into here in a second. But on the right hand side of the steering wheel, you have your adaptive cruise control settings. Mazda calls it Mazda's radar cruise control. I call it adaptive cruise control because that's what it is. And then also, very surprised to see this, you get the rain sensing wipers here with the Select Sport. So when it says auto and the light next to auto is illuminated, that lets you know that the rain sensing wipers are active. Basically, the wipers will adjust the intensity dependent on the intensity of the rain. But moving on into our gauge cluster, on the left-hand side, you have your tachometer. On the right-hand side, you have your fuel gauge, your coolant temperature gauge, and at the center, right now, the screen is set to this screen. So it's your digital speedometer readout, your driver assistance stuff. That's letting me know the driver assistance features are active. Then you get your transmission status stuff. That is the cruise control stuff. You have your fuel range right here, the ambient exterior temperature, the odometer, and the instant fuel economy. Basically, if you wanted to adjust what you see on that screen, you'd click the info button here, and it will bring you into this screen, which is your analog speedometer. You can click it one more time. That was your analog speedometer and your notification stuff. Now this is your analog speedometer. Then you get your drive information, and then you go back into the screen we were just on. Personally, this is the screen that I would leave it on. You know, that's just the one that I like the best because I like the digital speedometer readout. But anyways, that's just me. You might be different. Not too much going on throughout that display. And then you can see this trip button right here. Pay attention to the odometer because it's going to switch you between your different trip A and trip B information. So when I click that button, you can see your trip A information. Click that button again, that is your trip B information. And if I wanted to reset, let's say trip B, all I got to do is be on trip B, press and hold on that button, and it will reset back down to 0. And also on the right hand side, you have these two buttons here to brighten and or dim the gauge cluster, as well as the backlit buttons. Then you get another HVAC vent, and then up top here you have your 8.8-inch infotainment system with wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. So this is what the screen looks like. You have the controls down here to control the screen. So basically these are your different shortcut buttons. You have your shortcut button into your compass, into your audio stuff. Then you have your home button, your back button. This is to navigate throughout the screen. And then if you wanted to select something, you just push this button here, the big button. Now going throughout the screen, up top here, you have your information stuff. So your fuel efficiency monitor, vehicle status monitor. You can go in between your entertainment stuff, which is your different music. Then you have your communication stuff, which is your phone. Navigation stuff is just the compass as of right now. And then all the way at the bottom, you have your different settings. You can go into the in-vehicle display settings. You can go into your sound settings, safety settings, etc. You have all of these different settings you can go throughout here. I'm gonna go back into the home screen. And if I click this over, like push from this side on this, it's gonna bring me into my notification stuff, basically letting me know that I am low on fuel. And let's say I wanted to go into my Apple CarPlay or my Android Auto stuff. I'd push down to go into Apple CarPlay. I'd push up to go into Android Auto. So if I push down to go into Apple CarPlay, it's gonna let me know that I have to connect to Apple CarPlay via a USB-C port. So you do not get wireless Apple CarPlay, you get wired Android Auto, you get wireless Apple CarPlay with the turbo models. And that's kind of about it for the infotainment system. Coming down, I really like to see push button start on a lower end vehicle. And then basically with the Select Sport, you get the dual zone climate control. So here are your temperature control knobs. This is what the climate control system looks like when it is on. You get the temperatures, you get the fan speed, the recirculation thing, and then that lets you know where the air is blowing. Then beneath that, you have your hazard button that flashes with the hazards, and then that button right there is to turn the HVAC system on or off. Then down here, you get a spot you can set your phone. You get 2 cup holders. Then you have your gear shift that is leather wrapped. So is the shift boot. But if you go into drive and you flip this over to the left, you can now push up to downshift, pull down to upshift if you want to do some sporty driving. And if you want to have a little bit sharper throttle response, you push up on that, and that is going to put you into your sport mode. If you want to go back into normal mode, you just pull down, and that turns the sport mode back off and puts you back into normal mode. And then coming back a little bit more, you have an electronic parking brake here. The auto hold function is basically when you turn that button on, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. And if you wanted to go forward again, all you would have to do is hit the accelerator. But if you wanted to turn that back off, you could either, hit the accelerator, begin moving, click that button, and it'll turn off, or you'd have to push your foot on the brake, push that button again, and it will turn that system back off. Again, all of these are for your infotainment system. This is to mute the audio system. But if you press and hold on that, that is going to turn the infotainment system off. Press and hold on that button again, and the infotainment system will turn right back on. And then you push from here to go forwards on a track. You'd push from here to go backwards on a track. And then obviously this is also your volume control knob. And then this is like a favorites button. If you click on this, it will bring you into your favorite screen. And to add a new favorite, press and hold the favorites button. And that is how you set a favorite. So that's kind of about it for these controls here. You also get a armrest that is nicely padded, and when you open the armrest up, down in here you get 2 USB-C ports and some good amount of storage space, honestly, down here considering the size of the vehicle. And then one thing I do like about this thing is that it does slide forwards and backwards, which is definitely very nice, so you can really dial in your armrest. Very cool. And then you get 2 more HVAC vents here. This is not an HVAC vent, but this is, and so is that. But you do not get a lockable lower glove box. And honestly, pretty small glove box if you ask me. Same kind of, features on that side. That is to obviously roll the window down. Then you have your unlock and your lock functions. Same kind of door panel at the bottom that you get here on the driver's side. And this is a manually adjustable passenger seat. You get a standard rear view mirror. This is going to let you know who's buckled, who's not buckled. This is going to let you know if the passenger airbag is on or off. The driver and the front passenger both get LED reading lights. This is your instant dome light on button. It's going to turn on all the interior dome lights. And then this is whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the doors. So right now with that light illuminated, when I open up the doors, the interior lights will not turn on. However, if I click that again, they will turn on when I open up the doors. And then you get a sunglass holder up top here. Moving into the visor, you get a vanity mirror with an LED vanity light. You also get a spot you could set any small little paper product. And then the visor itself does not slide forwards and backwards, but you get this sliding piece on the end of the visor that you can slide forwards and backwards. All you got to do is pull it out, and then you can see it slides in and out. Then driver gets a no poop handle, so does the front passenger. And speaking of seat comfort, I think these seats are nice and comfortable, at least for somebody who's my stature, I guess you could say, 5'9". Seats are comfortable. So another thing I wanted to mention, this has obviously not an upgraded sound system. It's just got the standard sound system. And if you dial in the tone settings, it actually sounds pretty dang good for a standard sound system. But now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at whatever you want to, but basically what makes the Select Sport is the faux leather. You get the leather wrapped steering wheel and the leather wrap shifter, and you also get the dual zone automatic climate control system, the black mirror caps, the black wheels, and that is what makes the Select Sport over the S. But now I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Mazda CX-30 Select Sport is spec'd is $28,810. This is very, well equipped considering it is one step above the base model. Also, if you haven't already, go back on the window sticker and take a look at the safety stuff. That's where it's going to show you all of your different, driver assistance features and stuff like that. It comes well equipped, all things considered. I want to show you what we got going on in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So let's see what the rear door panel has to offer here. So number one, it has to offer a moth. As you saw, the moth flew back out. But you know, nicely padded armrest. You get an automatic up and down window back here, but right now I guess I have the window lock on, so if I press that button again, now I'm gonna have access to the rear windows. Let's see, how far do the windows go down? Nearly all the way down, but not quite. Again, automatic up and down, nicely padded armrest, a little bit of storage space. You also get a speaker there, and this is what the rear seats look like. If you wanted to fold these second row seats down, you come and you click this button right here, and then that gives you access to fold these seats down. I'm not going to do that right now. We are going to step into the second row seats. So up top here, you get a no poop handle, a spot you can set your dry cleaning. You do not get a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat, but you do get a seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. You also get 2 HVAC vents back here. You get the same stuff on that side. This is the dome light. And then one thing I'm actually very surprised to see is a center fold down armrest. Very nice. And then you also get 2 cup holders in that as well. Now, when it comes to my knee and my leg room, I've actually got a decent amount of knee and leg room, being 5'9", adjusted behind myself. Here's another view of my knee and leg room. And when it comes to headroom, I've got a few inches of headroom left over as well. And let's see, do these seats recline? I'm gonna say no, and no, these seats do not recline. However, you know, they're pretty comfortable. I could do a road trip in this thing. I could say I could probably go, you know, 3-4 hours and I wouldn't have a problem. I would say that these seats are in a good position, but they're more like upright, but they're not uncomfortable. So, but they're more upright, I guess you would say. They're basically, they feel similar to the CX-50 I just did a video with. So yeah, comfortable. And they can do what you need it to do. You know what I mean? You can go on a road trip in this thing and you can be comfortable. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. Take a listen. Let's see how this thing handles. It's a Mazda. It handles very well. That is one thing I really like about Mazdas, and I just did a video with a CX-30. I said the same thing. They handle very, very well. And honestly, like, considering this is nearly a base model, it's actually like not that slow. Like, it's not fast, but it's not like insanely slow. Like sometimes you'll get in, like, let's say a Subaru Crosstrek, for example, that has like the 2-liter 4-cylinder, and that thing's just like so slow. It's like, are we at 40 miles an hour yet? But this, honestly, it's not like terrible. Like, it could be worse. What I'm saying is it's not like insanely slow, but it is like slow-ish, but it's not like super slow, but it's not fast. Anyways, I digress. It drives very well. It's comfortable. And I think this is a great value if you're looking for a vehicle that, you know, it might not have all the features, but it's gonna have, you know, the little nice features that make just for a nice driving experience. Like this has standard adaptive cruise control. You know, it's got these leatherette seats, so that's definitely nice. You know, if you know, you're just starting out and you're looking for a car, and or heck, you know, you're looking for just a good deal on a vehicle, this is a great deal. You know, people are gonna think that it's leather. It feels like leather, it looks like leather, and if you don't know, then it is leather. You know what I'm saying? And then the infotainment system is nice. Yes, it is wired Apple CarPlay. If you wanted wireless Apple CarPlay, you would have to upgrade to a turbo model, but that's going to, you know, cost a considerable amount more than what this one costs. So 28 grand, not a terrible deal. Dual zone climate control, that's nice. And it's just a really good, you know, driving experience. It's comfortable. You know, the seating position for me at least is very comfortable. I like where I'm sitting. It handles well. It's decently quick. It's not super quick, but you know, it'll get the job done. And honestly, I'm actually very kind of surprised by how good the sound system is for being a standard sound system. You know, sometimes like the Subaru Crosstrek, I'm just going to compare this to that. The standard sound system in the Crosstrek is not good. It really is just not good. But the standard sound system in this is actually like pretty good, all things considered. You just really have to dial in the tone settings to make it sound better. You got to up the bass, you got to up the treble a little bit, and you can find, you know, your rhythm. Let's say that's kind of how I would say it, and you can actually make it sound pretty decent. So I'm gonna go around this traffic circle here. And once we get around this turn, basically I'm gonna put us into sport mode here, and here's an acceleration. Thought that was a popo. Now we're back into regular mode, and it has nice getup. You know, it's not going to rip us all the way because it is not fully broken in yet, so it's not going to let you go all the way up to redline. Redline looks like it's about 6,500 RPM. So you know, I never really had respect for Mazdas, and I never really, not necessarily had respect, but I never had like, I never would recommend anybody a Mazda before I drove one, and now I've driven quite a few Mazdas at this point. And you know, if you're looking for a good value, something that's going to drive nice, something that looks good but is also comfortable and affordable, that's kind of right, that's like Mazda's sweet spot, you know what I mean? And they also give you just a ton of options. So if you don't care about power, you're looking for fuel economy, then get a non-turbo model. But even the turbo models also, you know, get good fuel economy as well. But where I was going with that is that if you don't really care about power, you're looking more for fuel economy, they have the non-turbo models. But if you're looking more for power, comfortable, something that's also affordable, they have their turbo models as well. So they kind of give you a wide variety of different models to choose from, which is great. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can get, you know, a base, you know, a lower trim level of the turbo model. It's going to be, you know, relatively affordable. Or, you know, if you don't care about that and you just want a nice interior, they also have, you know, the nicer models with the naturally aspirated engine, so you can get that value, but you're not going to get the power. Or you can get, you know, something that's, you know, lower on the totem pole but has the turbo engine if you're looking for more, you know, performance rather than interior. Or you can get the performance and the nice interior. So like I'm saying, they offer a whole range of different models to choose from, which I really like. And I think that's kind of where Subaru is lacking a little bit with the Crosstrek, is they don't have a turbo engine in the Crosstrek, which I think if they did, they would sell a heck of a lot more than them. Not that they need to sell more than them, because they sell out pretty darn well. But you know, this thing's comfortable, it's got the features you need. Take a listen to what it sounds like cruising at about 40 miles an hour. I might try to get up to 50. Handles well, so we can go around this turn. Remains very flat, no body roll. $55 miles an hour. Well insulated from the outside world. So this is a great value. I think it looks great. If you're not a fan of chrome, they do offer a couple trim levels to choose from that don't have the chrome. But you know, it's a great value. Sound system is pretty good, and it's a good vehicle overall. You know, it's comfortable, it's affordable, it gives you good value for features wise, and you know, it's just a great vehicle if you're looking for something that's under $30,000. But that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. That helps me grow. It looks very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm and gets me one step closer to my dreams. So I'd appreciate it if you do those things. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.